Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and this is my Sunday chat, or the quest for England, the quest so far. Well, we're all in lockdown, aren't we? The quest for England is a little bit shut up at the moment. The quest is more sort of the little tiny area around my house. But however, what have we been up to this week? I've been pumping out quite a few videos this week because I wanted to keep myself busy for one thing. Stuck inside, you could go absolutely mad, go a bit cabin crazy. So this is my sort of catch up with the things that I've been up to. So earlier in the week, I went to Wappingthorne Woods. This was just before the lockdown came in, and I was able to make a nice little walk. At this point, we were in keeping a social distance. We'd never had this term before, but now it's a thing, keeping a social distance. And I thought the best thing to do would be to go off and explore some woodland, keep away from everybody, and keep on the main path, don't wander onto farmland and all that kind of thing. And so I had a lovely time doing that. In fact, I made two videos because the second video was really trying to encourage people to get out and explore, people who might be keeping their social distance and businesses that were shut up and shops that could no longer trade. I thought people might want to also get out into the country, perhaps not go to the most popular places, but go into some, I don't know, some of the offbeat tracks. And so there was a notion of giving the country code and a few little hints and tips of advice. Well, filmed all that, and then the lovely Julia and I had planned our trip to Hampshire to look at the hangers and the ancient tracks that go through Wessex. And we'd got this all planned. We'd had an Airbnb booked and everything was fine. We were going to go for 3 days and 2 nights. We had this rather nice bed and breakfast. Our rooms looked great. So we were all very excited about it. So off we headed. And this was on the Monday. And on the Monday we got there and we managed to make 3 films, one about the actual journey going there and 2 other places. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And then in the evening we checked into our Airbnb, and that's when the Prime Minister said he was now not only ranking up the situation, but he was telling people that they had to stay indoors and there were very limited reasons for going out. But one was exercise, but I got the impression that the idea was that you really just had a walk or a cycle or a run very local to where you were, that you couldn't go off into the woodlands and all of that. So lovely Julia and I thought, oh no, this is a nightmare, we better come back. So the following day, instead of staying 2 nights, we stayed the 1. We packed up our bag, we got back into the car and we drove back the following day just to comply with the law. And we've been in isolation. Julia's obviously gone back to her house and her family, and I've come back to my house and been pretty much in isolation here on my own. However, whilst we were away, we did manage to make 2 extra films. One was at the Rake Hangar. Now, Rake is right on the border of West Sussex and Hampshire, and we enjoyed a little stroll, which was on the Serpent's Trail, part of the Serpent's Trail, not a terribly long bit that we did, but we were just interested in looking at the hangar. Now, a hangar is, as far as I understand, is a big hill or a ridge, if you like, it's covered in trees. I don't know why it's called a hangar. Maybe it's because the trees hang on to it. But there's quite a few hangars in Hampshire, and some of them are much higher. And the ones that we wanted to go to, of course, we didn't get a chance to go there, which was a bit of a nuisance. So instead, when we were making our way to the Airbnb, we passed a place that we thought we would just have our sandwiches, which was very nice, called Petersfield Heath. So we took a little stroll around Petersfield Heath and made a film. And I noticed there are all these little round, well, they look to me like Bronze Age barrows. But there was no signage, nothing to say what they were. A couple of them, 4 of them actually surrounded the cricket field. And I thought, well, maybe they'd just leveled the place and put the spoils up into little heaps because trees were growing out of them. Well, it turns out, thanks to my viewers telling me, that actually there's something like 21 Bronze Age ancient barrows around Petersfield. So that must have been what they were. And I believe one of them was actually a long barrow that we went to. So It's a shame that we didn't see any information boards, but that's not to say they weren't there. We were very much on a mission to gather as much walks and video as we could in the 3 days that we were going. So we hadn't really had a lot of time to do any research because we knew that there was this potential of a lockdown, only it came a lot quicker than we thought. Anyway, so we managed to get those 2 videos, because what we didn't know when we was on Petersfield Heath, that the big lake or the big pond at Petersfield was just behind some trees. And if we'd have known that, we would have gone and ventured round and looked at that. Anyway, we had to come home, and home we came. And so now it was a bit of a confusion, because I like to get out and go and explore landscape, heritage and nature, as you know, but that's become a challenge. And for the rest of this week, it's been a question of what can I do? What's going to come out? What can we produce? And I was doing the Vogue Show, which is a live stream on my other channel, the Vogue Show, and I've mentioned that before on the Bald Explorer. So I've started to do those every evening, and they've been very popular. We've got a phone line in, people can call in, people make their videos and they show their videos, and we do this at 8 o'clock on an evening. And I thought, well, we're stuck in, I'm going to do a show every day, and I've been doing that show all week now, every day, and it's been very popular, and I'm absolutely pleased. Then in the mornings, you may have noticed that I've also done another live stream, but on the Bald Explorer channel, trying to continue my quest for England, but this time using literature as a basis. So I thought I could do a live reading of An English Journey by J.B. Priestley. It's a fascinating story. It was written in 1933, and J.B. Priestley had taken this journey across England, and he charts what he sees, and he says it's an honest account. And of course, back in 1933, we had a big depression. It was just prior to the war. There was a lot of people who were unemployed, and the place was in a bit of a sorrowful state, just still getting over the First World War. So it's fascinating to do that and read that, and the comments have been very good. So that's nice. But even though we're in lockdown, I have been out making some videos. Yes. So what's coming up? Well, let me tell you, I have been, well, like so many people, I've been planting some seeds. Yes, I know seed planting can be very boring, because we all know what you do. You get your seed, you shove it in the pots, you add your water, you stick it in the greenhouse or in the garden or somewhere like that, or under one of these little heating lamps, and then you wait for the seeds and the seedlings or the shoots or whatever they're called to come up, and you stick them in the garden and you water them, and that's your lot, isn't it? And then hopefully whatever it is you're growing. And of course, I'm not green-fingered at all in any shape or form, so I'm not very good at all of this. I do help the lovely Julia when she's doing her Julia's Kitchen Garden, but she hasn't done that for a while because she's been pregnant and she's got a new baby and all of that. But I imagine all the gardens up and down the countryside at the moment are going to be incredibly well manicured, because what else are people going to do? So I thought I wouldn't want to be left out. So I've planted some hollyhock seeds. So that video will be coming up fairly soon. It's a short, sharp, little cheeky little thing. Also, I've had an idea about camper vans, but I can't afford to buy one at the moment. And what with all this lockdown, I can't actually go anywhere. But I have got an idea of something, and I don't want to reveal it until the video comes out, of something to do without a camper van, but without camping in a tent. So that's a video that's coming up fairly soon, which I'm looking forward to. And also, I've made a video about what I've been up to here, some of the household chores, a bit of a behind the scenes of the Bald Explorer type thing, which will be coming out. And each morning we're allowed to have our exercise and a walk. And unlike some people who are right on the edge of the countryside and can just go for quiet walks in the middle of nowhere without anybody knowing, here in the town where I live, I'm rather restricted. So I've been going down to the seaside, the beach, and having a walk round there, and walking around the urban environment, and also doing one of the things I used to call the armchair walks, which is a point of view walk. You don't see me in it, I'm just simply holding the camera, and it's as if you're going on the walk instead of me, and it gives you a point of view of the walk. And the idea is that it is very much like sort of still radio, or what do they call it? I forget what they call it off the top of my head. But it's that living video. You're just there doing the walk and going along. And, you know, I like to experiment and see what works and what doesn't. So that's what I've been up to. Coming up, oh, well, I don't know. How long are we going to be isolated? I don't want the videos to become dull and boring and more samey, but I dare say I'll do some more morning walks. If I can get up onto the South Downs, I will do my best to try and bring something a little bit different. But clearly at the moment, I can't get out in my car like so many people and go and do landscape heritage and nature, which is a shame, because I know some people who cannot get out would love to see some of that countryside in their living room. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. If you can, become a patron. I don't have any other form of making money. Now, I realise, of course, that a lot of people are out of work now because of this lockdown, although there are some government schemes to help some people. So become a patron, support what I do, and I will see you, hopefully, on another video fairly soon. Take care, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.